Hey guys, so I actually did a live reaction for this chapter and it worked out well because it's honestly just a full-on action chapter. Just Luffy versus Katakuri throughout the entire thing, the revelation of Snake Man, so it worked out well. So I'm going to leave you with my live reaction or snippets of it, and then after that I'm going to talk about the chapter in more detail because there were some things that I noticed the second time I read it that I didn't notice on a first reading. So here you go. We're doing it live, folks. There's a Spanish translation out already. I'm going to read that one because why not? I was literally about to head out the door to go watch Black Panther, but I guess I'll have to do that during the weekend. I already saw the cover page, and it has Buggy on it, so that's a good start right there already. Let's get it going. This chapter is called, I guess I'm going to translate here. So it's Luffy the Pirate versus Sweet Commander Katakuri. And as I expected, we have Harjundin's Viking-looking giant ship, and Buggy Circus is in the background, and he's yelling because he's very upset because the Giants have now left his alliance. Yeah, Harjunding arc. The what? Oh yeah, the letter of resignation. Okay, we're gonna do this. Let's see. So I just turned the page, and with no warning whatsoever, boom, Snake Man, Gear Force Snake Man. There's a lot of heat coming out of Luffy right now. He looks very similar to Bounce Man, but more compact. His hair is a lot different. Kind of reminds me of something that I've seen. I think it was like a color spread that Oda drew. I'll probably like plug it in here, you know, just so you guys know what I'm talking about. So his eyes, I don't know, he looks kind of like the same. And he's pulling in that punch, and he says, "Soy más rápido," which means it is a speed form. Then it is a speed form. He says, "I'm a lot faster," and he shoots at Katakuri. Katakuri dodged it. Boy, did you just dodge that Gear Force Snake Man punch? What happened there? Wait, hold on. Whoa. Oh, he didn't dodge that one. So it's one in the face, one from the side, and then what happens? Donut Katakuri he just literally just turned into a donut. Oh, jeez. What is that? Oh, what is going on? Look at Katakuri. What is that face? That's like a deranged werewolf face. Holy crap. Did they just knock each other out? No. Man. Katakuri pushing back. Black Mamba? That's a snake, right? I think that. Oh no, that's Luffy's attack. Gomu no. Yeah, Black Mamba. And it seems like that's a Gatling. Katakuri's taking those punches with the Block Mochi, though. Man, he is pushing back. I thought that this was going to be a defining moment in the fight, but they're still about even. What is going on? Jeez. Another donut spinning wheel. This is the end, Mugiwara. Gomu no. Dice. So another Dice Mochi, King Cobra. Shout out to Vivi. And that, I mean, that's it. That's a clash. I think that's the end because it says, you know, One Piece is on break. We're gonna do this. Let's see. So for starters, I have to say that the cover page got me really excited because not only did we get Buggy, and I don't think we're going to get him anymore in this cover story just because that would just spoil us because he's just so great, but We did get the Giants, so we're going to be following them. I think there's 5 of them aboard the ship. And the Giants are a race that are now more relevant than ever. Super, super important because of their connection to Elbaf and their possible connection to Big Mom. So I also noticed that the skull at the front of the ship is kind of blocking the sail that has a symbol on it. The thing kind of looks like a dragon, so I don't know if that symbol is connected to something else within the One Piece verse. I did think, though, that it was very convenient that the skull was literally just right there blocking that sail and that symbol. So maybe Oda's deliberately trying to hide that symbol for future purposes. You know how the Kazuki clan has their symbol? Like maybe this symbol is something similar to that, of the utmost importance. Speaking of tattoos, this is the first time that I noticed that Katakuri has a wing tattooed on his back. You know, it's like 1/2 of his body just covered in a tattoo. And so I wondered, like, because of the wing, you know, it just reminded me of like Rouge and Skypiea, like the Shandians. And I know technically that he's Big Mom's son, but it's like, does he have some connection to the culture of Skypiea? That's a very, very interesting tattoo that he has. I don't know. It may not mean anything, but I'm just throwing it out there. Now, when it comes to Snake Man, okay, the form, again, visually seems very similar to Bounce Man, except that from a practical level, it is a speed form, but it's not a speed form for Luffy's entire body, at least from what we can tell from this chapter. It doesn't seem to be affecting Luffy's entire body. It seems like the speed is for his limbs. And this may change depending on whether or not we get more of this fight, but as of this chapter, the speed is added on to Luffy's attacks, not his entire body, and you can tell because the Haki distribution of the form is primarily focused on his arms and legs. Now, unlike Bounce Man, where we clearly see that Luffy's shoulders are covered up with Haki, Snake Man doesn't do that. The level of Haki that is seen visually on Luffy's arms when he's in Snake Man mode barely makes it like up to here. Alright, so it doesn't cover his shoulders like Bounce Man does. And there's a very clear reason for it. It may look like it's less Haki that he has, but it's really not. I think it's definitely more compact, so it's a lot more focused on his limbs. And this is specifically showcased in the chapter when at first Katakuri didn't even know what hit him the first time. Okay, because he didn't know. He dodged one attack and forgot about it, and the thing came back and hit him in the face. Then Luffy actually says, you know, I'm stretching, but my arm is still going. Like, it's still accelerating. It's still gaining speed. And for clarification purposes, I'm going to be using this picture right here to illustrate and explain what's going on that's new. So, if you look at this shot, this is, you know, back in Dressrosa, Luffy lands that hit. You look at the corners, right? So the arm is going in zigzags, and every corner just kind of bends at an angle there, and that's pretty much it. Like, there's nothing really special other than the fact that the arm just kind of keeps on going. And that's for Bounce Man, okay? For Snake Man, however, there's very, very clear instances where Oda showcases via the art of this chapter that once Luffy's arm turns, once it hits a corner and bends at an angle, at times Luffy's arm gains a speed boost with each turn. You see those little clouds on the corner. It seems like it's exponential too. It goes like boom, 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 and then it goes so fast, in fact, that usually when Luffy stretches out his arm, it actually takes him time to pull it back in. You know, it goes like boom. That time is gone. The arm is traveling so fast, it doesn't even seem like it left in the first place. It suddenly appears back on him. So it's like, yeah, and then you go again and again and again. Now, the crazy thing about that is that even at that speed, even with that acceleration, Katakuri is still capable of blocking those hits. It's insane. It's crazy. Now, because of Luffy's new mode and the increased speed of his attacks, Katakuri's kind of forced to change his strategy a little bit. So he uses this thing called Diced Mochi, the first step of which is turning himself into a donut. A speeding donut, mind you. One that goes like zoom, 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 zoom. It reminds me of like something out of like Sonic the Hedgehog. He's actually using his awakening on the floor and using that momentum to sort of like guide him like a speed ramp. And then once he gets close to Luffy, he uses the sticky properties of his mochi and just inflates his arm with armament Haki, uses it as a club, although technically I think it's more like a net, because Luffy gets trapped in it because of the stickiness of the mochi, and then once that happens, Katakuri just goes to town on that boy, leaving a crater. That wild face that Katakuri made this chapter, honestly, I can't even remember seeing Akainu look that intimidating. that was some Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type of stuff. It literally felt like it was something that did not belong in One Piece. I know the focus of the chapter was technically supposed to be Luffy Snake Man, but I think that panel and the panel where it seems like both of them kind of like knock each other out with Katakuri using the grilled mochi technique were my favorite panels of the entire chapter. I'm not gonna lie. The art for some of these panels was just majestic, like period. The anime better not screw this up, I'll tell you that much, because this is just some amazing, amazing artwork that should be treated with dignity and respect in animated form, okay? Another panel that stood out to me is when Katakuri is blocking a Python hit by just stretching out his leg in midair. And you can almost feel the vibration, the burst of the attack of both of these forces just clashing. Like there's really no other way of saying it, but you literally feel the damage. And so when a fight scene leaps out of a page like that, that's what makes the difference between a good fight scene and an amazing one. At one point, Luffy does say that he's hungry, which in my opinion just kind of sets the stage up for Sanji to come in by the end of the arc and steal the show, or at least have his moment to shine. I think that's pretty much like what a lot of us have been rooting for a while now, so I don't think Oda will disappoint in that regard. And then they go in for what appears to be the final clash. I don't think so. I think there still might be more of this fight to come, because the ending was just it was kind of abrupt. Now personally, I've been pushing for a draw for this fight from very early on, just from some of the beginning stages of this fight, but now it seems like Oda's kind of like making it more and more apparent that that's something that may actually happen. So hashtag support the draw 2018, guys. Luffy's Gear Force does have a time limit, so I guess we'll find out how much it has left. There's no sense of time in this chapter, unlike with the previous chapter where we actually got like a clock counting down. And I guess it's because in this one, everything's just happening so fast. It's like, so we don't really know how much time has elapsed, but it was overall just a really, really visually stunning chapter of manga. Thank you so much for watching. Like the review if you did. Subscribe to my channel for more One Piece related videos. And comment down below what you think about this chapter. The Snake Man form, I obviously expected something a little bit different, but I do think that overall the choreography of the fight just completely eclipses anything else. So I thought it was a great chapter. Thank you guys. Bye.